the first update of the week. That is the first update of this week, a very important day, 13 days before one of the biggest events in our country, which is the protest against Mnangagwa that is going to take place on the 31st of March 2025. And today I'm going to give you some exclusive news. As I said to you, I talk to war veterans on a daily basis. And yesterday I had a few discussions with some war veterans regarding what is happening and what is going to happen. And it has been revealed to me that yesterday and the previous day, in fact, since Friday, war veterans have been talking to various stakeholders about the next steps and also the current government and the next government. What is going to happen? What kind of government are we going to have after the Mnangagwa government? So specifically, there has been a lot of discussions about the role of Vice President General Chiwenga. This discussion is arising on every forum. People are asking the war veterans, what is the role of Chiwenga in the new government when Mnangagwa is gone? Is Chiwenga behind everything that is happening? And will Chiwenga do the right thing, or he will just do what Mnangagwa did when he took over? When Mnangagwa took over, he made many promises. I traveled to Zimbabwe on the day when Mnangagwa took over. The country was full of promise. The police were off the roads and things looked promising. For some time, the Zimbabwean currency started to appreciate. But the old ways came back, and Mnangagwa has now become worse than Mugabe. So if we just kept Mugabe in office, it was going to be better than what we have now. So that question is arising on a daily basis to the war veterans. They're being asked, what is Chiwenga saying? What is he going to do? Is Chiwenga going to come back and address the people? His guests are going to come back and address the people. So let me remind you what the war veterans said during their press conference about Chiwenga.
The insinuation is that we have been sent by Vice President Chiwenga to do this.
Okay, apologies about that. we have an advert playing right now, which shouldn't happen. But let me just take you through what they said. This is crazy and unbelievable that an advert would play during the time when I'm presenting to you what they said about Chiwenga. So they said the insinuation is that we have been sent by Chiwenga, and this is not true. I don't even have Chiwenga's number. I don't know when I last talked to Chiwenga. So myself, I've never spoken to Chiwenga. I think it's been more than 2 years about anything. I'm talking about literally the last time I talked about Chiwenga was the time when I was doing a story about something, but it was not anything to do with politics of Zimbabwe. I have checked among the people who are currently organizing the protests and said, have you talked to Chiwenga? What has Chiwenga said to you? I've only seen one person who have shown me proof that they've ever talked to Chiwenga. And that person, I obviously can't tell you who it is, but it's not one of the war veterans. Only one person has shown me proof that he has ever talked to Chiwenga. So what is clear to me is that the war veterans are telling the truth, that they are not sent by Chiwenga. They are not talking to Chiwenga. And Chiwenga is currently heavily guarded. His communications are heavily monitored. Internationally and locally, Chiwenga's communications are heavily guarded and heavily looked at. All his gadgets, every movement that Chiwenga makes is heavily watched, especially by the Mnangagwa guys, the Mnangagwa faction. So the discussions that are taking place are coming from people who want clarity on what is going to happen. And the reason is currently we've got a very weak leader in office surrounded by a lot of corrupt people. And the fear is that if Chiwenga gets in, or if someone else gets in, that person will fall into the same system where strong forces are surrounding them, or what we call criminals around the president. The problem in Zimbabwe is criminals around the president or cartels. People like Tagure, they moved from Gabe, they went to Chiwenga, to Mnangagwa, and then they would go to Chiwenga. That is what people are afraid of. And that is the question that the war veterans are getting. They're getting this question on a daily basis. Since Friday, they've been asked to clarify what kind of government is coming after Mnangagwa, who is going to be the leader, and how do we know that these people won't do the same thing that they did in the past. So I just want to clarify to you that this is what is happening. The military, and especially the war veterans, they're clear that they want Mnangagwa to leave and they want Chiwenga to take over as the new president. But what kind of controls are they going to put in place to avoid Chiwenga becoming the same as Mugabe? That is what is a sticking point at the moment. That is the big discussion that is taking place behind the scenes. And you're going to see the result very, very soon. I expect to get a proper answer within this week from the war veterans. They were supposed to issue a press statement last night, but they did not do it. So I do not know when they're going to do it, but I'm aware that this discussion is taking place to say what is the role of Chiwenga and how is he going to rule after he takes over. I now want to take you to how Chiwenga is going to take over. I've always looked at the permutations. Let's say Mnangagwa is removed on the 31st. Chiwenga is currently next in line to become the president. And if a protest removes Mnangagwa, then the army would make sure that that transition takes place. So it's very simple. The transition to Chiwenga is going to be seamless. There's no problem. It doesn't even need an election. It is set out that Chiwenga can become the president immediately after Mnangagwa leaves office. So this is what we're looking at here. Very soon, you're going to see a Chiwenga presidency, and that Chiwenga presidency is going to come through first the protest, and then you're going to see Chiwenga immediately taking over. So that is the government that I'm basically describing to you what is coming. There is no legal framework right now for a transitional authority. The only way you can see a change coming right now is straight from Mnangagwa going to Chiwenga. And also, you're seeing the attacks on Chiwenga. These attacks are coming from Mnangagwa's office. Mnangagwa is directing everything that is happening. All those things that Christopher Mutamba is saying, they're coming from Mnangagwa's office. However, Mnangagwa is gone. He's got no power, he's got no authority, he has lost credibility. And everyone knows that Mnangagwa cannot fix the current situation. The current situation we have in our country cannot be fixed by Mnangagwa. The only way to fix this is for Mnangagwa to step down. However, how that happens has to be legal, and it must be done in a way that is not violent, that does not cause a lot of chaos within the country, resulting in people not accepting the outcome. So bodies like Sadza, they're very important. AU, they must be able to accept the outcome and the new president that is going to come in. And that is why I'm saying the army very careful about talking about Chiwenga. However, Chiwenga directly, and right now he is next in line. There is no question about it, that the next person who's going to come in will be Chiwenga. So let's wait for the war veterans to come out and speak. I speak to them on a daily basis. Right now, I've already spoken to the war veterans. I don't even wait for daylight. That is the first thing I do when I wake up, to speak to the war veterans. The war veterans are very important in what is going on. They are behind the scene giving direction to everyone. So if you see anyone who's speaking, they get direction from the war veterans. And the war veterans are very calm. They are not scared at all. They know what is going on. And that is, Mnangagwa must step down as soon as possible. His deadline for stepping down is already passed. He should have stepped down already a month ago. He refused to step down. And all his efforts are just in vain. Nothing is happening that Mnangagwa can control right now. So now let me take you to some news, and we've got a lot of news today. Mnangagwa is making a lot of efforts, and let's start at the police. So at the police, there have been major changes at the police. The first changes that is made at the police, if you go to the Newsday newspaper of today, is that the police under the new Commissioner General Mutamba have opened the canteens. So the canteen for the police is now open. It's been more than 10 years since the canteen of the ZRP was open. And they're now serving a 3-course meal. So breakfast, that is eggs, bacon, and you cannot believe it, sausages and toast. That is the breakfast for police right now as we speak. Starting last week, because of the impending demonstration, the police have now reopened the canteen, and police are now eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the canteen. Lunch is made up of pap, chicken and beef, and vegetables. So that is amazing. These things have been closed for a long, long time. They're now open as Mnangagwa tries to stay in office. Unbelievable that this is possible in Zimbabwe. However, the pay has not changed. The police are still getting their old pay. And Mnangagwa is this week going to launch what is called the Presidential Youth Fund, where they are going to give money to youths. They're also going to launch the Presidential Women's Fund after they launch the Presidential War Veterans Fund. So Mnangagwa trying to look as if he's working. All along, he wasn't doing anything, but he said to be launching these funds. Then I want to go to some other news. Let's go to Bulawayo. So in Bulawayo, there is a massive story that has taken place. An elderly couple, pensioners, have appeared in court. And this is Frank and Francisca Banda. They are being accused of defrauding Stanbic Bank, that is Standard Bank in Zimbabwe, of $30,000 US. This couple opened a bank account at Stuart Bank, and Francisca tried to make a transaction of $17. However, the transaction failed, and the bank, that is Stuart Bank, mistakenly sent back $40,000 US into their bank account. And the couple started going on a spending spree of that $40,000, traveling all the way to South Africa and spending the money in Zimbabwe. They spent $30,000 out of the $40,000. They didn't tell the bank anything. And now they're being taken to court because obviously they don't have the $40,000 to return. But that is what we call miracle money. That's what happens when you use the ZIG, because they spend the money in dollars, the bank sent the money ZIG, but they added a number of zeros. The zeros are confused with the computer, and the couple ended up with $40,000 US, which they used. And that amount of money has not been recovered, unfortunately. And sadly, this couple is now appearing in court. So it's a sad situation happening in Zimbabwe because of the zeros. Everything is crazy. It's unbelievable in our country. So let's see what happens. Then, Madam Boss, I told you something's wrong with this girl. That she's going through something. She has now shared pictures of herself supporting Scotland FC. So Scotland FC with 2 T's. They are Scott Sampanya. And I told you, anyone who associates with this team, Muroi, because of the murder of Pastor Tamane Masaya in Mavuku. So the murder of Pastor Tamane Masaya, police are refusing to investigate this murder. I've been writing to police, I've written to Parliament, we've done everything. And the only thing left is for us to go to the United Nations to get these guys to investigate this murder. So anyone who supports Scott and Scotland, Muroi, and we don't even laugh when that is happening. And every time Scotland FC plays, there's going to be a 12th player on the other team. They're going to lose very badly because of what they did. Nelson Chamisa has showed off his new chickens. So the opposition leader, welcome to poultry farming. That is the opposition leader of Zimbabwe, Nelson Chamisa, showing off his chickens in the middle of one of the most important periods. He's showing you what can be done. That is Chamisa. And then there's obviously this lady here. You must follow this lady. She's called Nyengeterai Fungulani. She's been giving a prophecy, and she's a very popular prophet in Zimbabwe, this one. She's been giving a prophecy on the new president of Zimbabwe, who's going to be the new president of Zimbabwe. You should go and check it out. She says there is going to be a new president in Zimbabwe very soon, and that president is going to be a David. He's going to change everything in Zimbabwe. What is going to happen? You've never seen it before. So that is what he's saying. She's saying this popular prophet in Zimbabwe, and people are looking forward to this new president of Zimbabwe that is coming. Amazing stuff. I cannot wait to see who's going to be the new president of Zimbabwe. Then I want to look at other things. Let's see what else is there across the region. I want to start with South Africa. There's a lot of business news that is happening in South Africa. So the new tax year of South Africa started on 1 March, and the biggest rush that is there is what is called a two-pot system, where people are withdrawing their pensions. So as it stands right now, 33,000 in the first week. South Africa is struggling to make ends meet. They've gone and tried to withdraw their pensions. And then I want to show you a big story that is in the newspapers today. That is buying of cars, second-hand cars. So I want to look at this story, which is in the Sowetan newspaper today. And that is the Baloyi family has bought a Range Rover vehicle for an amount of almost 290,000, and the car broke down soon after. So they bought this car from a company called We Buy Cars, and they are complaining that this company sold them a car that is broken down. The engine broke down within a month, and they were quoted 150,000 to replace the engine. They've gone everywhere trying to fix this car without success. So I know many of you guys from Zimbabwe come to South Africa to buy cars from We Buy Cars. We Buy Cars is amazing. So if you want to sell your car now, you just take it and you go, and they'll give you a price. You leave your car, and within a few hours, they will deposit money in your bank. So there's no more delay, and they're all over the country. Over the past let's say 2 years, I've bought 3 cars from We Buy Cars. I've also sold 3 cars from We Buy to We Buy Cars. And my experience is, okay, I've bought 4 cars from them. In fact, 5, 5 cars. So let me tell you my experience. So the first car I bought was a car for 50,000, and it was like a runaround. We used that car for 3 months. Instead of hiring a car, I bought that car to drive around when I first arrived in Cape Town. Then when I was fed up, I just took it back to them. So we bought it for 50,000. They gave us back 33,000. So when I calculate if I'd hired a car or used Uber, that is the difference. So I was very happy with that transaction. The second car we bought was a Toyota Corolla. It was 150,000. We still use that car. No issues at all on that car. And that car it has never had a repair on it. The third car we bought, I think it was no, it's not a car, it was a trailer. So we attempted to buy a trailer. It was like 20 grand. When we arrived, found out that the roof was not there. So they just gave us back our money, and we went on our way. And then the fourth car we bought was a little small car for the boy to go to school. And we used it for a few weeks. I made repairs on that car for about 10 grand. And then after a while, we decided to sell the car. I didn't use it for more than 2 months. And then I bought another car, I think a little Toyota again, for about 120 grand. And that car, I use it on a daily basis when I'm doing my runarounds, when I need to drive around a lot. So of all those cars that I've bought, I've never had issues. The reason is I've got one guy who helps me, and one of the best We Buy Car branches, I think it's Richmond in Cape Town. So I've got a guy there, Anonzi Gift at Richmond. If he's not there, I don't buy a car. I just walk away. Like the salesman, like, get off from that guy, get off from that. I don't buy. I just go to Gift, and Gift is going to give me advice to say, no, Mboma, don't buy this car. Buy this one. So there are classes to say, gold, platinum, what, silver. So if you're coming from Zimbabwe and you want to buy a car from Anna We Buy Cars, make sure you buy only a car that is, I think, gold and diamond, whatever, those higher versions, which have got a report. If anything breaks, for example, when I bought my last car, our brakes were gone. They were not supposed to be gone. So I immediately called Gift, and Gift called me. He came to my office to collect the car, and they went and put new brakes. Then after a few days, there was something wrong with my, I think it was a sound on my suspension, and they took the car, and I said, the clutch is hard. They went and changed my clutch and put a totally new clutch, a Toyota. So I never have any issues with Buy Cars. I think We Buy Cars is one of the best places. So what you should avoid when you go to Buy Cars, don't buy. Firstly, there are certain type of cars you mustn't buy. That is a Range Rover, a Renault, a Chichi. Don't buy those cars. Buy yourself a nice Toyota, Suzuki. You know, those cars from my Japanese countries, they're usually much more reliable. If you see a car that is from my countries, avoid those cars. And they have a nice salesman. Those guys are very nice. So why I'm saying this to you is that we're obviously going to replicate what these guys are doing in South Africa and Zimbabwe. I'll let you guys know when we're going to replicate this same model in Zimbabwe very, very soon. We're going to be doing a similar thing in Zim, and it's going to be very, very nice and interesting. The website is already up. It's just a matter of time before we let you guys know. Because buying a car must be like buying bread. You should be able to go today, tomorrow you buy another car. So it's a nice market to be in. And I'm very concerned when people don't know what to do when they buy a car. Don't use any emotion. Make sure that you do it with planning. For example, I hate using Uber because it cost me so much. I think when in December, I used more than 6 grand on Uber because I didn't have my car. I was just going up and down, and I can't go to all the places that I want to go to. Very crazy stuff. But anyway, that is from our business side. Let's now go to other things here. Let's look at H Metro newspaper and see what is over there. H Metro newspaper. So if you want to buy a car using We Buy Cars, it's quite nice, but make sure you got a nice salesman and make sure you buy the right class of car. And we're going to replicate the same model at Zimbabwe very, very soon. Let's share the H Metro newspaper, the TMZ of Zimbabwe, one of the best newspapers. I want to see what my brothers at the H Metro are saying today. So I haven't seen this newspaper. I'm going to be sharing it with you for the first time today. Right, Kandege. So this guy, there's been stories doing the rounds about a policeman in Zimbabwe, Uyu. And they are now explaining what happened. So Kandege is the new game in town and is taking people's monies. Sakamrume Uyu is a policeman and he did it. So go find out what happened in the H Metro newspapers. There's certain ways that I can't use here on my platform. And then CEO loses 100,000 in get rich scheme. Property Hendo Africa, Rangarirai, Pariro, Christo Mshonga lost 100,000 to a styled spiritual healer. The court heard that Mnangagwa was introduced to the suspect Modesta Simanikai of Kadoma. It's alleged that Simakani told Mnangagwa that she had a spiritual healer, and there was a spiritual, the spirit stopping her from getting rich. So go check out this story. Guys, there is no one who's going to make you rich when they're poor. Like, let me show you what she looks like. I want you to see how pretty this girl looks. Like, Mnangagwa's wearing the brains with the beauty. Oh, beauty with the brains. This is Christo Mushonga. Stunning. She's amazing. But let's see what she did. So, maona kuti ndianonzi CEO rangarai Fariro Christo Mushonga lost 100,000. So she is beauty. I don't know how to say it. Beauty with the brains, but on the other side, the spiritual healer took away. I'm just joking, Crystal. I feel your pain. I'm just kidding. But you shouldn't do it. Don't go to a spiritual healer and then expect she would turn 0 into 100,000. And then I'm not seeing the leak. Okay, I'm seeing the leak. So let me show you guys the leak standing. Just give me a second to upload it. What are the teams looking like today in H Metro newspaper? Amazing stuff. H Metro doing very, very well. I like what these guys are doing. And again, of Zimbabwe, I'm going to buy you guys drinks. So guys at H Metro, I'm going to come and buy you my drinks. Doing very well. Munudadisa. So let's upload the link so that you guys can see it. Right. So remember last week, Scott was at the top. Now he's not at the top. Thank God. Scott Muroy. So here is the league. MWOS, after game day 3, is at the top. In case the platinum, they beat Scott, they're number 2. Scotland is number 6. So everyone from the top there to number 5 is in platinum or gold mining. And then Simba Bora, Scott, they're into cars, and Highlanders doing very well. With the Dynamo still stuck at 3 points. So you can see clearly that there is a lot happening in the league, but the league is awash with cash. The league is awash with cash. That is what I like. There is a lot of cash in this league. Everyone in here has got money. They're being sponsored by some. So I hope that this continues with the sponsorship of our league, and also the fact that the quality of play in the Zimbabwe league is very high now. I believe that is also good for Zimbabwe. Let's look at Herald newspaper and see what is over there. Herald Zimbabwe. Right, Herald Zimbabwe is published, so I'll show you what is in the Herald newspaper. It's a bit slow. My network is slow today because they're updating the games, so it kind of affects everything. So let's look at what is happening here. So in Herald, EU commends Zim progress. That is the story that is there. SADC and IAC meeting took place in Harare over here. And then, as I said to you, Presidential Youth Fund to be rolled out this week. So this is crazy stuff. And then the appointment of a new company secretary for Mikos Limited, Mr. Batanai Peresu. Mkaona muna na H kumberi kwezita rake mungwarire munhu umushona aneta H kumberi kwezita rake say. And then SA off to South Africa, Warriors off to South Africa. Remember, they are playing Benin on Thursday, and they are going to be playing in Nigeria. I think that is on the 26th. Right, so they're off to South Africa here. And Nakama Billiards, they've already gone to South Africa. Then let's look at what is in the Chronicle newspaper. Chronicle Zimbabwe. So Chronicle Zimbabwe is published. So let's see what is happening with Chronicle Zimbabwe. 11-year-old drowns in Mazai River. So Mazai River is one of the worst rivers in Bulawayo. So an 11-year-old boy has drowned at Mazai River here. So I received a call that Randy had drowned. We're playing with friends on the bridge. They cross every day to and from school. I ran to the bridge, but I was also terrified that it was too late. So this is the bridge that your children have to cross to go to school. Very sad situation happening over there. And the general here speaking about upholding the constitution and the unity of the ZNA, the army in Zimbabwe, basically. So I think we've covered everything. Let me see if there's anything else of interest here that I haven't covered. Chiwenga makes history. He became the first recipient of the World SDA Award. I think Charamba and Makarao make athletic history. They finished second and first in the NCAA indoor 200-meter final in Virginia. So let me show you Mpana Charamba. Mpana Charamba, vafana vangu ava, vafana na Charamba, avana basa, baba ndo mroi, but even one bo vafana ava. I like the Charamba family, but nothing. Okay, Makanaka Ishe Charamba and Kali Makarao, they finished first and second. You know that these guys are on a scholarship, doing very, very well. As I said, nothing to do with politics. That's why even the Americans have given them a visa. So I want to just go back to what I was saying. So remember where we are now. What we call counterintelligence in the CIO is very busy right now, talking nonsense and planting fake stories. If you hear someone speaking against the protest or making you question the protest, that person is part of counterintelligence. And this their last days. The real intelligence that is coming after we have a new government is going to be working on important things, not following social media and trying to stop people from protesting. So we're going to have a proper counterintelligence. We're going to have a proper intelligence service in Zimbabwe. The new guy, Falton Mangwanya, he has proven that he's not able to change anything. You can see with Falton Mangwanya, ever since he came, Zimbabwe intelligence has still been the same. They are concerning themselves with useless things. Removing Mnangagwa is not a national security threat, especially if it's done through a protest or through a demonstration. So I don't know what Falton, what he's doing, but it's really better to animals, wildlife, because it doesn't understand. If you want a good country, you have to have good intelligence. And good intelligence is not following people around to say who is demonstrating, who's protesting, and so forth. However, there's obviously something big coming, and the army has already declared that they're not interested in what is happening right now. The country has collapsed, and the war veterans have led the way. So we're looking forward to that new government. And the thing that we want is a very strong leader who's able to stop all this that is happening, the corruption, come up with a clear vision, and we have a new country. Then people will be able to go back to Zimbabwe. So that is what we want. And we want to stop this, what is happening in Zimbabwe due to corruption, too much stealing. People like Wiknochvayo, stealing on a daily basis. Someone who doesn't have a grade 6, he's got no business that is running, but is driving around and moving around in a jet, getting tender for the elections, all sorts of things. Those are the things that Falton Mangwaya should be looking at. Those are the criminals, not ordinary people who are trying to protest. So let's look at the comments. We're waiting for the 31st. Yes, let's do it. Let's go. Everyone, let's go. On the 31st, there are two things that are going to happen. The first thing is ordinary people are going to stay at home. So if you're a child, if you're going to school, if you're a woman, if you are just an ordinary person, go into your house and close the door. Don't come out the whole day. Don't be at the border. Don't be driving your car to any journey or anywhere. Stay inside. Then if you are one of the people that know what is happening, You are going to be told where to go. Comrade Nyokama knows that side of things. That is where you're going to be told where to go. But the end result is people are going to go Kumbapa Mnangagwa. So on the 31st, people are going to go Kumbapa Mnangagwa to take him out of that place. So that is what is going to happen on the 31st. But it's got nothing to do with you if you are not one of the people who know. Like I'm always asking people, where are you guys going to meet? What time? If you don't know the answer to those questions, you are not the person that is being talked to by Comrade Nyokama Bunu. And then we buy cars is a scam. You must go with a renowned mechanic. Yes, so I agree with you. It's not a scam, but don't buy a car. It will be buy cars without checking it, and don't buy it there without using a proper salesman. Like I told you, I've got my salesman gift. I've bought over 5 cars, no issues at all. So don't be that person that doesn't do the right things. Right, then let's go to Mve Unorapa Ningire. Yes, Unorapa. Buy you Mve, and don't even doubt it. I think people have been taken for a ride, which people, Peter Tosh, and then Zimbabwe. There is no sun that rises before others. Chiwenga knows that time is 2028. Not now, as you wish. Bikai Doro, Muti Mzimu, Mandirasa. We can't wait until 2028. Guys, Mnangagwa must go. Mnangagwa is the problem in Zimbabwe. He must leave as soon as possible. And we must make it happen. Do not be mistaken. Do not have any doubts. We cannot take more than 2 weeks with Mnangagwa. He must step down by himself, or else. That is what has been told by all the war veterans, by the military. So Mnangagwa wants to go, and people are fed up of this man. So I have got no doubt. And you need Mnangagwa knows my number. You can phone me right now and say, Gabako, is that true what you're saying? Yes, it's true. Mnangagwa must go. And everyone doesn't like Mnangagwa. Wikino doesn't like Mnangagwa. Scott doesn't like Mnangagwa. Uyu Tabire doesn't like Mnangagwa. Everyone knows that the problem we have now is Mnangagwa. Right. I would like to thank all of you for watching. Please support our sponsor, Mve. You must get your packet. If you are done with your packet, buy a new one so that usatongwe nema salad. Usatongwe nema salad. Ukamwa Mve, unosimba as strong as an ox. You have energy for days. You see me here on a daily basis. Do you think I sleep? I don't sleep. Like I'm always awake. And have you ever seen me weak? Have you ever seen me coughing or sweating? Msalad wako akakuudza kuti dedi imbo yai kuno pane zvandoda kuti mundiitire. Atidi munhu anodzana-dzana. Kana ukapuwa pena ukavira mudondo. Atidi vanhu vakadaro vakapusa. I think I've covered everything. I'll remind you on 1 April. Yes, Alex, if you want this to fail, you are going to fail. So, ndikakuona uchiti tucha, nika indrive kako, uchienda mtown. Tucha, nika bhazi kako. Tucha, nika traki kako. Tucha, noiti bhuku twako. Unoshanda kupi? Kumunhu wekunast, munhu wekuUSET, munhu wekuHara Institute of Technology. Unoshanda kupi? Isusu, matskoma enyu, we can make this country shine and bright for you. Chiwenga, tinotaura naye, anogadzira nyika. Chiwenga will be bigger than Mbeya Nehanda. Sekuru Kaguvi. Chaminuka. Vese vanalubengula. Pamusoro, panonga pana Chiwenga. Tinotaura naye Chiwenga kuti agadzire nyika. And Chiwenga has got such a big opportunity right now to fix the country. Mnangagwa atadza. Mnangagwa has failed. Mnangagwa is a very, very bad failure. So, Chiwenga, this is what we want. That is what people want. They want you to change and transform this economy. Don't let this man come back. Mnangagwa akadzoka munopera mese anotipedza mudhara uyu. Right, delegation yakabva South Africa. I don't know about that delegation, what they've said, but I'm sure they were rejected. Mnangagwa is going to go. Okay, I think I've covered everything. It's been amazing. So today, let me show you what has happened with gold. Right, and now with gold, rakaita sei Gold. Right, let's show you gold. Msaseka kumana. Shigitika for gold. Gold is hit or rakarova for the first time $3,000. So if you're into gold mining, gold has been on a massive uptrend. So let me show you what happened to the gold so that we don't have any doubts about what's happening economically. The reason is that there is a war that is coming, or that was supposed to come. So this is gold. This is what we call a massive uptrend. Gold is up. So if you're into gold mining, over the past year, this is what has been happening to gold. It's been shooting up like it's going to the stars. So economy, it means people have got no confidence in the economies. They are putting their money into safe assets. So that is what is happening economically. And then if you are obviously thinking of what to do, think of doing something in the gold sector. So think of doing something in the gold sector. You are going to make a lot of money. Awi Peze, Mariacho. So all those guys who are digging for gold are extra rich right now. That's why you see most people in Zimbabwe are even digging everywhere, even under schools, because gold has been going up like there's no tomorrow. And normally when there's war or a war is coming, people buy gold and they keep it, even though it doesn't have interest. Right, guys, I think I've covered everything. And I would like us to be back here tonight, 10 minutes past 9, as I give you an update. Let's recap. We've said that the war veterans, the military, have had a meeting this week with other stakeholders this weekend, starting Friday. And the discussions were around the role of Chiwenga and what is going to happen, what kind of government is going to put in place. It has been agreed that further engagements must be done, and particularly the engagements are in terms of the approach that will be used to put a new president and also the new system of government that is going to be put in place. As you know, it's not possible to have an NTA right now. There's no legal framework for it. So people are looking at Chiwenga as the new president to replace Mnangagwa as the president who's next in line and see if he's going to agree to work on a program to revive the country within the current existing laws. So that is what is there. That's why you see so much pushback against Chiwenga and fight against Chiwenga. But my understanding is that there is no direct communication between Chiwenga and the people in question. So there's actually no one who is talking to Chiwenga right now among those people. I only know one guy who has shown me proof that he talked to Chiwenga. Akasimba, Wakasimba, and that is the one person that has shown me proof that he talked to Chiwenga, but it was not about this political thing. It was something else, something which has got nothing to do with politics. So Chiwenga, let's see what he does. These are going to be very interesting 2 weeks. And guys, we want to see a new type of leadership, a new country, a successful country. And you guys, by the end of the year, most of you will be back home if this happens. So let's not allow Mnangagwa to come back. Mnangagwa Arikuravanu Nenzara. I would like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you tonight, same time. And that is at 10 minutes past 9, while we'll give you an update on all the issues around the protest. So in the evening, we'll talk about the protests. We'll talk about everything that is happening in our country and what is going to happen in the next 2 weeks. Thank you very much, and a good day to
Marigi. doti como Bwere doti como Usasaire Kambakwe anogaya